प्ययन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, mind, all the sensory and motor organs become efficient, perfect. All is verily the one without second, all-pervading, blissful existence itself. Let me never deny this truth of oneness. May the truth never reject me either. May all the virtues necessary to experience this truth be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel that I am a wave in the infinite, luminous ocean of bliss. Let me look at this infinite ocean. And the whole scenario has completely changed. As a wave, I had rise, growth, fall, and death. I am always scared. Some other wave may hit me, destroy me. I saw some waves as my friends, loved ones, some others as my enemies, out there to crush me out. But as I look to my true nature, my source, my existence, what a tremendous change. All the apparent multiplicity is gone. I see I am infinite. I am beyond space and time. I am bliss itself. There is no fear. I am all that is. I am the unchanging eternity, ever peaceful and blissful. I am the love. I am the knowledge. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin this 19th class on stories from Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are studying what is considered the most important chapter in Bhagavatam, which also gets called as Mini Bhagavatam. And it being very philosophical, as I had mentioned earlier too, don't expect too many stories as such here. It is a whole big story actually, this chapter is. Not that there are small, exciting stories therein. There are some, but again, there is a lot of inherent philosophical discussion that goes with it. So let's begin, friends, with our regular chant. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarataschaर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsist, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. So this supreme truth that is awakened in the consciousness of Brahma in the form of Vedas. Brahma came out from Lord. Lord, as it were, delegated the job of creation to him. But Brahma mentioned that this creation is just God himself. God is the material, God is the efficient cause. And I am just doing everything as instructed, controlled, very intricately by Lord. In every step, it is the God who controls. And because I bear this in my mind, that was a very beautiful passage that we stopped last time, that therefore my mind never turns to wrong ways. It is always fixed in God. My deeds are therefore always proper and righteous deeds. And this is the way many times we feel that why does my mind go in the direction that I don't want it to go? Consciously I never wanted it to go in that direction. But because I do not carry God in my consciousness always, the mind then goes hither, thither, and then comes to grief. And so it indicates that the way is to carry God whenever, wherever we are. It may appear to be difficult, but by practice things become easy. It sounds difficult only because of the ingrained very strong tendencies against it. Even though we suffer, we don't give it up because of the force of those what is called sanskaras. That the sanskaras are like that. That Sri Ramakrishna gave the example that the camel eats the thorny bushes. Its mouth is bleeding, but then doesn't give up eating those thorny bushes. And that it does in the name of, feeding and enjoyment. So we too run after the enjoyments which actually brings sufferings to us. We keep on bleeding throughout, and then in the hope that more enjoyment will reduce this pain, I go after more thorns to swallow. So this is how our mind goes in wrong directions if we do not keep it glued on God, who is the existence, the truth. So that is the way that Brahma is always having this awareness established in that divine surrender. And so the Brahma's mind does not go in all other wrong places, wrong direction, does not do anything wrong. This is a practical question, friends, that comes many times at fore. People say, well, it is when I come to Vedanta Society and as I listen to classes or I meditate, then the mind is in a different state. But it gets lost when I am away from it. The problem suggests the solution automatically. Really, it is not a problem. So, when you know that when you are around here or around the holy atmosphere, you are listening to holy thoughts. Now, wherever your body may be, take this in the mind and go anywhere. Then that will solve the problem. The body can be anywhere, but the mind is to be established in this divine awareness. Carry it with you. So it is like you take the food out. Till a few days ago in Providence, only takeout from the restaurants was available. Even now, most restaurants just keep it like that, take-out policy. So you take out, but then you carry it with you, you eat it and you do not throw it. Just as you come out of that, you make the payment. You took your brown bag and then just while walking threw it in a trash can. That will be terrible. So similarly, when we come here, let us take out. It is both, You have a dining here, or when you are listening on internet. It is. This internet has provided a long reach, People can just like a pipeline, So you can get the water of some reservoir somewhere, but then because of the pipeline, you get water right in your kitchen. So similarly, because of these pipes called internet, they are like pipes. So you get this knowledge, whatever is being studied, without having to be physically present in a location. So it is wonderful in a way. So you get it and use it. That is how the mind will always be in the right track. This is why Brahma has given his experience. This whole purpose of Bhagavatam is that to inculcate bhakti, devotion to Lord. That is the whole idea in life. the intellectual knowledge, understanding, it has a limitation. It helps to some extent, but then one has to move to get it. Like if Charlie knows that at that particular place an excellent food is available, paying much less money, then knowing that, what does Charlie do? Walks there with eagerness. That is love, that is love. Yes, oh wow, let me go and have it. So similarly, that love should come. Information, yes, I understood that such a nice thing is available. And then now you start walking towards it. So this is Brahma to Narada. Neither I nor you nor Shiva understand him in his true nature. Nobody can understand that truth. It is not a matter of understanding at all. At most, what we can understand is that I cannot understand. That is the limit of intellectual understanding. It does not go beyond that. I had told you that story that two mendicants were staying in a cave-like situation in Himalayas, and then one of them used to go out, take walk, and another used to keep on studying scriptures. And then every day after the study is done, he would repeat to this friend of his that can't understand. So this went on for years. And then one morning, similarly, he finished his study and said to his friend, understood. The friend was naturally taken aback. Hey, I was used to hearing every day that you shut the book after studying and say, can't understand. And today you say, understood? What is this? And this friend said, well, understood that it can't be understood. So that is how this understanding can take us up to that. But then getting, then getting. That is where the bhakti comes to fore. Okay, let that love rise in me. That is how the knowledge becomes experiential. This Sunday we are going to speak about that, deliberate about that this knowledge has to become experiential. And the easiest means to that is bhakti, devotion. With devotion, the mind now it becomes ready to move in that direction. It is a very different faculty that opens up, that needs to be opened up. Our intellect, last time I think I had spoken in the question answers about it, that our intellect is very good as the controlling mechanism in the car, that you have steering wheel, you have the brakes, the clutch and whatnot, all those things are there. But that doesn't move the car. You have to have force. Engine has to be there. Only moving the steering, it is not going to take the car even an inch further. It is, you have to start the engine. Then the propellant comes there, the force is there to move the car, and then steering and all that are very important so that you take the car where you want to take it. So therefore, it is a combination of both, summing up the two things, combining these two things. That also is yoga. One meaning of this word yoga, that is how in the Hindi language this word is used as summing up, adding that this sum, this figure, yoga, that figure means sum, it is. So that is how yoga means to add. So yoga, here you can see that the intellect and emotion, what Swamiji said, brain and heart, both need to be combined, synthesized, harmonized to, make use of both of these. So, and we all have both these faculties. It is not that we are devoid of one faculty and has only the other. No, we have both. As human beings, we have both these faculties. Some are having more of heart, less of intellect. Some may have more preponderance of intellect, less of heart. But both are necessary, both need to be properly combined. Then alone you can see that the movement in the right direction happens and culminates. So Narada says that infatuated by his Maya, our grasp is limited to this created, changing universe, that too only to the extent what our senses and mind are capable of. One sees these things, that how much can we go? It is Swami Vivekananda in Jnana Yoga lectures has mentioned it many times, that we go to know everything, and then there is this wall, this impregnable wall of time, space, causation stands there. And it is, we see how limited we are. We are bogged down by these problems which are not possible to be solved because of our peculiar constraints that are on our brain. Our brain can work only within that limit. And so it is, we see that our senses, our brain, our mind, all can give us only a limited understanding. But our ego is so big, we say, I understand everything. I am a Nobel laureate physicist, and so no secret is hidden from me. Well, maybe whatever your intellect could show you, that much, that also, who knows, your understanding may not match somebody else's understanding. So, that is why the understanding of us is Maya has covered it. This, and we get infatuated. What is this? Sri Ramakrishna said, I and mine. That is Maya. We don't need many intellectually elaborate and heavy discussions on this. I and mine. This is I, identification with body. I am this. Oh well. And then connected to that, this is mine. So I and mine. That is Maya. And we are infatuated with that. Always terribly concerned with this. That, my health problem, my monetary situation, my spouse, my children, my parents, my society, community, whatever. My, I and my. We get so much into that we do not think that of that even that as a limitation. We feel that that is the world. And so we do not try to see beyond. It is, we do not see the limitations of this. So one has to see that it is very limited. Our knowledge is little, our ego seems to be infinite, no limit to ego. So I know everything. What do you think? I am a Swami for so many years. I have read this. So the ego skyrockets. The knowledge isn't much, but that is how it happens. So this Lord, therefore you cannot understand anything of Lord. He is pure spirit, self-existing, is the essence of everything and transcends everything. I just see that infinite ocean or waters. It transcends all waves. That is what we were meditating upon. So that transcends all waves, but yet pervades every wave. Every wave is actually that expression of the infinite ocean. That's about it. And so it is the sages, they intuit it. For the lack of better word, this word intuit is being used. Actually, that is the meaning of intuition. Many times for some ordinary things, people use this word intuition. It is not really intuition. It is, somebody said that, that the doctors, while doing a lot of, seeing hundreds and hundreds of patients every day, and intuition comes up. That so they can just look at the patient, and by that look they understand what is the problem of the patient. So it is called intuition. But one of our devotee doctors corrected it. It is not intuition, it is developed instinct. So it is. There is a beautiful lecture by Vivekananda, a very penetrating lecture on this. What is the instinct, reason, and intuition? So intuition is a very higher faculty, much higher than reason, and what is called instinct is below reason. It has, Swamiji has said there that instinct is unfailing, but it has very limited field. Its operation is only in a limited field. It is unfailing. True. Then there is the reason which builds on so many different experiences and thus can expand a lot with that. Then there is that intuition where one transcends that ego, the limits of intellect, and thus you see it clearly without your body-mind intervening at all. So that is where the intuition, the sages, they went beyond these limitations, and so now they are able to feel, experience. That is the meaning of intuition, a transcendental experience of the divine. So that they are feeling Hari like that. But he evades the mind agitated by vain argument. There are people who like to argue always. Now what happens? The mind gets agitated, loses devotion. You get into an argumentative mode. And that mode means you are always wanting to prove your point. So it gives boost to ego. So therefore Narada, in his aphorisms of devotion, there is a very important aphorism there. Vado navalambhya. Do not get into argumentation, because that will agitate you, it will kill devotion. We read in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna that Sri Ramakrishna elicited this promise from M, the chronicler of Gospel, Mahendranath Gupta. So he told, tell me that you will not argue anymore. Do not reason like this anymore. And M gives that assurance, no more, no more. Because then the obstruction to devotion gets removed. It is one of the major obstructions is this tendency to argue. If one has a doubt and to understand things, it is you ask that question, that is one thing. But to argue means that, well, I am right, and then ask to prove a point, that gets agitated. Even after the answer is given, the fellow keeps on arguing more and more and more. It is in one of our classes, I was in that class, and one Swami who was giving this class on some Upanishads, I don't remember exactly which one. So, and very nice atmosphere on the banks of Narmada at Omkareshwar, and very learned Swami. Very patient Swami. How you said it is to be, it needs some? Okay, now it probably will not get disturbed. So, and somebody asked question. He was never preventing questions, would answer with happiness, lot of consideration that but someday that person had come just first time there, and has come with without any understanding, but lot of ego about understanding, and he started arguing. Well, this is, but this is the book that says like this. So that Swami, after answering a few times, then he, with some stern voice, he said that, well, you have come here just today. Keep quiet, just listen for about a week, and then you can ask questions. Because that is just argumentation, and then that was wasting time of everyone. The mind gets agitated. So, agitated mind, as one can see, is not very conducive to understanding. So, now we saw about that, that it is universal form which manifests as this creation. We saw that Brahma said there was nothing else, no material was available. Lord told me to create. So just only Lord was available. So I imagined that Lord is like a body, and then on that body, different parts of the body, then I had thought of as these different worlds, and every single particle then became something. So that is how a big panoramic portrait of this universe is drawn on this body of God. That it is God alone is there like a canvas, the canvas is all that is there. You paint various things on that, and Brahma even did not need any actual paint brush or such things. By imagination, that was enough. The meditation of Brahma made all this come true. It is because of the powerful meditation. Powerful meditation is like that. It gets the things done. It appears to be very little, but that doesn't mean that it is powerless. It is a very small thing. Yesterday somebody was telling me that some now people are good at calculations. So, how much this COVID virus weighs, weight of a COVID virus. Now it is so tiny. They then calculated all this about 6 million people who got infected, how much the total weight of all this virus would be. And it turned out to be, it is just 1.5 grams. 1.5 gram means a chickpea, you see, one chickpea. So that much virus, but see how powerful it is. So the smallness is not doesn't mean that it is less effective. Thought may not have any weight, but how powerful the thought is, we all know. So it is all, the creation just proceeds through meditation. Just as it proceeds in dream, you don't use any gross material for that. Just thought, and everything gets created in thought, like in dream. This is just a dream. That's all. So we see that this nature, then time, space, causation, then great elements. In this work, Bhagavatam, there are various different ways that this creation is described, not exactly the same steps everywhere. And the steps sometimes become different. In different Vedantic texts you will find them, there is a little difference. It is like that. There is not an exact order. A rough kind of order is there. And many times the words also have different connotations. So there is, and then the cosmic intelligence, we saw that Mahat, and then subtle, gross, all bodies, all that is just God. That is all just God alone. It is so, it does not change at all. It is, that is the why this is oneness. In oneness there is no possibility of change. Many, do not appreciate this idea. One questioner very sincerely said, how do you say if it is one, it doesn't change? See, I am one, but I keep on changing. Well, you are not one. That oneness of yours doesn't change. The body is a separate thing, and then the food is the separate thing. The food, your bones, all that combine, and then that combination is also a change. It keeps on changing, so that's it. So multiplicity cannot escape change. Multiplicity will change. And the oneness has no possibility of any change. So that is why it is only error that can see the creation come out. It is only by error we can imagine that yes, there is the creation. Because that which never changes, how can that have the creation? There is no creation except in ignorance. So this is how it has been told. And then we begin the 7th chapter where Brahma, this is all narration of Brahma, who is telling his son Narada about all this. Narada was asking him because Narada thought that Brahma is the creator. But Brahma explained, no, don't think I am creator. I am only a minor secondary instrument in this creation. So it is told there that this chapter is showing some divine incarnations, and this is also called mini Bhagavatam, brief, Bhagavatam in brief, this particular section, that it is all then the divine sport of Lord. The word sport, lila, is used to show that there is no particular purpose, only fun. It is just fun. Like playing, you put some rules that okay, this is the rule according to what you are comfortable with. Like as little kids, we used to play that famous game in India, cricket. So now there are certain rules of cricket, but we had to augment them or change them, alter them due to certain conditions. That okay, because of the way they would be throwing the ball, so getting a batsman out was not easy. So a rule was made that instead of those only that limited scope of stump lines, we put more stumps there. Okay, so that is because then otherwise the game will not be a fun. Then if the fellow hits very hard and breaks the glass of some neighbor, that would be a problem. So it was added rule that it cannot go beyond. If it goes beyond that, the fellow is out. So not only out for that game, but will not be allowed to play anymore. So it is. So all those rules were because then only it will be fun. Otherwise it will not be fun. So it is this game Lord therefore made, this is just fun, there is no other purpose. It is in mathematics there are these which should be taken as our basic set of axioms from which we can build mathematics. You have some rudimentary, some 5, 6 or whatever number as the principles on which then you build. And then you build a big edifice of mathematics on that. But if you don't find it funny, okay, then change the axioms and start building again on that new set of axioms. It will be then fun maybe. But again, in mathematics you can never exactly tell that this set of axioms will be always funny. For some time the mathematicians keep on working at it. Now what more to do? Okay, now let us change this set of axioms. Add one more or subtract one or change one. So it becomes a game. Why did you do it? Well, that is just for fun. Mathematics is therefore just a fun game. It's a fun game. Play as long as it is funny. If you don't feel it funny, don't play. That's it. It is. Give it up. So this is how the Lord is doing all this sport, Leela. Play. There is no other purpose. Because this question keeps on coming. Why did God make it like this? There is no why, it is just play. Why did God make these things so miserable, so much misery here? Well, that is the fun of God. It is, why did God introduce COVID? Well, that is the fun of God. It is probably all these funny things happening are being watched by God with lot of fun. So it is make things differently, variety, In the same way things are going on doesn't become very funny. So the children, when they are playing, they just break everything, like that puzzle, that, what is it called? Jigsaw, yeah. So if it is all put properly, thank you, Charlie. So then they again break it, everything, and put again, or buy a new puzzle and start working on that, because you need variety in fun. So God is creating like that. This is divine sport. And in that divine sport, there are these special forms. Listening to these special manifestations, special sport of God, what happens? Brahma says, it purifies our ears, which are otherwise become crazy due to hearing the worldly matters about sense enjoyment. This is when you instead start hearing the divine sport of God, it changes. In this 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that, look, this is how the devotees, they keep on, discussing the divine sport of God. How Lord did like this, how Sri Ramakrishna, how he got into samadhi while they were all going to Anud as a child, and on the way he got into samadhi, and then thinking of God, and how he met Holy Mother Sarda Devi, and how she, as a little child, pointed out to Sri Ramakrishna as her would-be husband. Now all these stories, they purify our ears. It is, of course, we have to do it feeling fully and all that, not just like it is one. Two ladies used to go regularly to hear this Bhagavatam lectures. The Bhagavatam week gets very popularly observed, and so two ladies used to go and sit there for a few hours, come back, and then one of them had some work, so did not go that day. But then she called that lady, that, okay, the other lady who went, so please, I could not go today. Tell me what was told today. I don't remember, she said. Why do you go if you don't remember? No, I kind of, feeling sleepy. So, and then I was looking at other things, so I don't. Then why do you go there? Why do you go there? And then that lady replied, well, the ears get purified anyways, ears got purified. Oh, that is the story. It is not like you just sit, you have to listen, then ears get purified. And not just by sitting there and then not hearing anything or so. That is how he is telling that is how they become purified. It is now they open up for such things. They have to be open for the stories of the Lord. So it is, otherwise if you see people talk the same thing in their field. Those who are involved in the politics, whenever they meet, they have no other subject to talk. What is this doing and what that president is doing and what and all that again and again, grinding the same thing over and over. The devotees don't do anything different, but only the topic is substituted. They talk only about that all-pervading reality. The kathayantah tushyanti cha ramanti cha, that becomes their joy. Kathayantah parasparam. So it is, you wanted to say something? Okay. So they keep on discussing nothing more but just that. So there are so many different incarnations of God. Now the incarnations of God are being described. That divine, what is an incarnation? Everything is God. This Abhijit is God, Abhijit of this corner, that corner, both are God. But nothing, certainly God incarnated in every form, that is all God. But what is the difference in what we call God incarnating? That is where there is no desire except to teach others. There is no ignorance at all. And therefore, it is called by, especially that word was coined by a great Marathi saint of very recent times, Gulab Rao Maharaj, that it is anadhyasta vivarta. It is a form. It has a shape, it is form. But there is no ignorance, there is no superimposition, no adhyasa there. So it is God in flesh and blood. That is how you see these incarnations. So, and only purpose is to remove all the demonic tendencies of people. We have these tendencies ingrained, and so nobody should be separately found fault with it. I see the demonic tendencies in others. Jyoti, you have these demonic tendencies. I don't see my demonic tendencies, you see. So it is everybody, nobody needs to be specially found fault with. All of us have this. But when we hold on to God, this incarnation of God is the special feature is that they appear like us. And so we are able to connect with them better rather than some God who we don't know how is that, where that God is. It is so. Therefore, some semblance of something known, we can connect better. So it is, therefore, God incarnation is the easiest. I have used the word easiest. Actually, I would say the only possible way for 99.999% people to connect to God. It is, there could be one Buddha in the history of mankind who didn't need a God incarnation. But how many of us have that steadfastness? It is in turn for most people who follow Buddhism, a huge number, they treat Buddha as if he is incarnation. They may not use that word, but they by any other word, the rose is as fragrant. So it is, that is how, it is a human compulsion. So incarnation, God incarnates. So then there is a list of various gods: Kapila, Dattatreya, Sanak, Sanandana, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar, and Naranarayana. Brahma describes that first these got manifested. There is a skewed account, This is what I was telling earlier, and we shall see that in our next class. The time 8:27, because I am seeing today many more people after a long time. The class went rather fast, the time is almost finished. So, and I have not covered anything almost, so most of it will be now kept for our next class. Today actually it was not planned to open. It is from tomorrow that the governor has declared, not today. So it is, what Charlie, you read everything meticulously.
I didn't see the word Saturday, but I wasn't the only one.
No, that's true, but it is, you see, it is Saturday we are opening, but that shows the eagerness, let us physically be present. So I hope nobody came and went away, since, it is. But next Friday we can all assemble here, as many as this hall can hold, only 20. And that too with the restrictions and so forth. So, Sunday, but next Friday class I was telling about. But yes, next and the coming Sunday, you are all again welcome to physically be present, and I hope it will, 20 is maximum we can allow. So if you come and then find that the 20 are already taken, we will have to request you, please, sorry, but we can't help that. So it is. But normally I don't think it is 20 are going to come. Many people are still quite scared and so don't want to take chances. So anyway, we shall now conclude with that closing prayer, and then if you have any questions, we will meditate for a few seconds, and then we will see. I had prepared so many slides, you see. Next time, let's see. Nigamakалпатарургalitam phalam shukamukhadamritadravasanyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhurho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions? Well, first, internet questions first. Are there any? Oh, good, there aren't any today, so very good. Charlie is here. Okay, Charlie, come on.
I like to read different religious points of view, particularly people who like to argue that they have the right answer. And it gets me thinking of God. And I don't know why, but I like to read how people think.
Well, change that liking. If that liking is detrimental to you,
Is it?
yeah, it is detrimental because you feel so confused. It is not that you get all the points and you have read it so many times. So, do you want to add confusion or add clarity?
I don't think it gets me confused.
Huh?
I don't think it gets me confused. I just
It does get you confused, that is why you get so many these questions about that. Why there is violence, why there is fanatic people say like this. Let them say, see, get two people and you have three opinions. Now take 7.3 billions, how many opinions will have? So therefore, do not bother. That is the important thing. That there are millions of ways of getting us more and more confused and lose peace of mind. So if we want peace of mind, just follow the path that is given to us by Guru, that you are convinced of. Just follow that. Why you want to get the news of 100 others? It is, and that too unverified. Just because there is the information available, it is like buying the whole mall.
I like to know how people think.
Well, just think right, then try to see how Charlie thinks, That's good enough. Yeah, you want to know how people think. Well, take these great people who think, and one of my mentors, and then I read it from other Swamis like Yatishwarananda Ji, that read only that literature which has come from a realized soul, a person who has actually experienced God. The other things you may read just as a pastime or some intellectual fun. That's about it. But don't give too much weightage to those things. It is those who have realized God, take their words. And that too he had stressed that read it analytically and devotionally. Read that analytically and devotionally. Both these are very important statements. So that is how our reading should be. Other things, well, you read something in the newspaper, just it is in that context, take it and leave it. It is not to be taken too seriously that, well, this particular this thing said like that, this advocacy group says this. Well, there are all hundreds of them. Do you have how much time you have in life? You have to be thinking of that also. You have to accomplish achieving the goal of life in that time frame. So don't get swayed away. So it is, keep that in mind. Yes, you have some question?
Yeah. So we saw that the incarnations of God, they don't, their is called Leela. It's not a particular desire or purpose. But
Yeah.
natural things go one way,
Th-
the good subside,
Yeah, yeah.
and then their purpose is to set things right.
That is, yes. That is a good question. If there it is just a play, why do we have a purpose in it? See, the these things settings are different. Like the children playing, I gave the example. Now, there is no particular purpose but to have fun. But then that person who is batting, his idea is to score maximum runs. If it is just fun, then why worry about it? So the two platforms are different. That is, it is true that it is all for fun. There is no other meaning to it. But then within that now you have all these ideas, rules, sets and all that. So we have to find some explanation for ourselves that why then there is this birth. Okay, you want an explanation, then okay, to set the things right. So okay, now I got some explanation. You feel happy about it, that's all. There is no, at the other level we have no way to see what is the purpose there. There is no purpose at all. It is, everything is without purpose. It is just fun. So leela, fun. But if you want to see purpose, okay, then this is the purpose. The order got all disturbed. So God has taken human form to set the things right. Pardon? Yeah, to have fun, it is, that is also a good observation. Yeah, there is the disturbance also set in by God to have fun, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that without those troublemakers, Jatila and Kutila, there won't be a stage show. There have to be troublemakers also there. So the good people have some job to do. So there is all that, is a part of this play. So within the play, yes, there is a purpose. What purpose has the play has? Just fun, It is just fun is the purpose of the play. Don't ask even the purpose. So it is, and it has no purpose. Because nothing actually happened, so how can you ask the purpose for that which never happened? So it is only after taking in the realm of time, space, causation, when you see the happenings. Now since it is in the realm of causation, within that realm you try to assign some cause and effect, which may work, but that too only within that limit, not beyond that. So the two things are spoken of at different levels. So they need not be mixed. Like one of our Swamis, he used to say it very often when I would make such questions. Never mix the absolute and relative level. Relative level, it has its norms, causations, thinking, practices and so forth. At absolute level, nothing has happened, so there is no question about it. So these two levels cannot be mixed up. Huh? You have a question, okay. Yeah. Well, you see, that is, even when they think of Vishnu, the incarnations of Vishnu come along with that. So even if they are worshipping Shiva, they look upon Shiva as like a human being, So they imagine 5 faces, this, that, and then they worship. Therefore, most Shiva devotees, they become devotees of Rama. Because it is Shiva is seen as the guru of Rama. So they worship Rama. The religions automatically veer around these personalities. I said 99.99 and all that, that it is, there could be some very rare exception to that rule. Otherwise, we have, as human beings, no choice at all. It is just as I gave that idea many times. We can learn from human beings. We go to schools where the human beings, they serve as teachers. You do not have a cat there put as a teacher, you see. So it is. So God also therefore has to be a human, to be an ideal for us, to a teacher for us. Yeah.
So, compared to incarnation, where we get some kind of mentorship or what you call it, guide, whereas these personalities, they don't evoke that, they evoke more of a devotion rather than an example. Right?
Both, that is why the latest incarnation is always good, more effective. The incarnations, what happens is, those we build lot of stories around them. They do not, Swami Sardananda in Leela Prasangas, in the introduction of his Sri Ramakrishna as aspirant, Sadhak Bhava, Sri Ramakrishna as a sadhaka. Now people do not want to hear much about it. In fact, many popular biographies written in some kind of a novel style, they have completely dropped that or somehow presented just a small part of it. Because he is God. Well, how does the God become a teacher? By showing an example like this. It is... we had some time back a nice lecture by that Gordon Walker on Sri Ramakrishna's birth anniversary celebration. That he said, we see Sri Ramakrishna as presence, as teacher and as an example. Yeah, it's just presence. Yeah. It is his advice and all teachings. And then he has exemplified them. So that is how one should look upon incarnation. But gradually, since we do not want to change ourselves, it is our lethargy takes over. And so if we see how they practiced, then we will have to do that. So what we say, oh, they are after all gods. Can we ever emulate them? Let us keep them on the altar, make a nice beautiful altar for them, make a beautiful image of gold, and then offer flowers and all that, and then we stay away from it. We keep not social distancing but spiritual distancing from that God, you see, so that they don't affect us. That is how the God has to therefore again and again appear. Sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. That is the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita initially, in first initial verses. It is told that, oh, I had told it before. But then because of the time, everything gets corrupt under the spell of time. So that happens to incarnation. So therefore I am again coming to you. So this process continues. Okay.
One question on the web.
Huh?
One question on the web. On internet, there's a question.
A question on internet now. Okay.
It's from Mark Moore. Ignorance, greed and anger are the 3 poisons causing suffering. Is suffering the path to God the only way? Is it wisdom to know?
Whose is this question?
Mark Moore.
Okay, please read it again.
Ignorance, greed, and anger are the three poisons causing suffering.
Yeah.
Is suffering the path to God the only way? Is it wisdom to know?
Is suffering what?
Is suffering the path to God the only way? Is it wisdom to know?
Well, suffering is a path for most of us because that makes us rethink that maybe I have lost my way. It is, how do you know that you are on the wrong path? Because the result that you expected didn't come. And in fact, the opposite of it came. So therefore, now you need to rethink your path. So suffering gives us that motivation. Therefore, you see, Bhagavad Gita also was on the background of this anguish, suffering, this terrible dilemma that Arjuna was thrown in. Even when you read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, see the state in which M was when he approached Sri Ramakrishna, state of terrible depression. He was out actually to commit suicide. So that kind of situation makes you, re-examine all what you had been assuming. You change, then you look at what priorities you were going with. It is, and thus it gives you this idea, that let me find the right path. It is in this way. What happens with when we get all the expected result, things are going on pleasantly. Oh yes, I expected a promotion in my job, I got it. It is, yes, I did so well. I expected that I will get this award in our next this thing. My paper got accepted and I got this award. I expected that. That such things do not make us introspect and rethink. It is the jolts in life that makes us, see if our wiring is wrong. I have to check it out. It is, it is. I did one radio I was putting together, and I did the wiring according to the map, everything. And then it was many connections were to be made. So, and then at the end, the radio was not bringing any sound. So if it had brought sound, then okay, fine. But since it didn't bring sound, it threw me in anguish. Obviously, the connections were, I didn't do them right. So again go back, examine where I made mistake. So all this becomes possible by suffering or pain, Pain makes us see what wrong I have done. So that is how the mind turns towards God, usually with sufferings. So let us conclude with our closing song. It's quite late today, 8:50. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. हरि हरि बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल. हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल. कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल।